Okay. Continue. Sorry about my voice. I have a bad voice, but hopefully I will survive this 15-20 minutes. So I'll be talking about promoting not only this project, but and also not only on social media. So this short presentation will be about promoting whatever you could do. So I made it a bit wider, not only for the social media, but as I will tell you later, I put together more or less everything from years of my experience. Just short presentation. I'm Mateusz Hribar from Slovenia. Um, I went to school to become engineer of mechatronics, which is something like computer science and electronics and engineering. But more or less, since I left school, I don't work in the field, because already in the high school I was working for several magazines, mostly about motorcycles, cars, racing. So that was my hobby and my job. I was racing also for a while, for a few years. So I had my own racing team, which has nothing to do with swimming, but the the base of marketing and promotion is the same. I was also working with a couple of racers as their public relation guy, and so I'm a freelancer. This picture on the side uh, is my office. First, I wanted to show you a photo of me working on a sailboat, which did happen a couple of times, but more or less, I'm at home. I have a big messy table. Then I have one of my kids crying somewhere in another room, and so on. Not easy, but it's fun. Okay. Uh, Maybe just a few things that I don't like about social media and computers in general. Um, it's taking a lot of our time. It's killing real life interactions and relations. Probably you agree that you usually don't talk with someone when you're on a bus because you are checking your Facebook or Instagram. And there's one thing that we are creating all this content that we're posting, photos, videos, posts. We post it for free, which it sounds nice because, oh, it's for free, But on the other hand, we are creating content that platforms like Facebook and Instagram are then selling. They make money with our content. Here on the end is Social Dilemma is a movie. I think it's worth seeing. It's about these platforms and how do they, all the data that's behind this. And I don't want to get too much into this. We all use it. But I think it's good to understand that it has dark sides too. And this photo is from Dubrovnik. I think it shows a lot. So there's a dog that wants to play, and there's a girl that is, on her phone. Um, but we will not talk about this today too much. Uh, the good side of having um, a tool like Facebook or Instagram is, from my side, is so for years already I'm posting a lot about environmental problems like garbage and plastic in the sea and so on. And I see then in real life that people see this and follow this. And there's one case that one friend of mine that's a motorcycle rider said, because of you, I'm now really, I don't even take a plastic bag when I go to the shop. I'm really, I see that it's bad. So I think we have to look on the good side of all these things, all these tools we have. And a project like this, Swim to Live, I think it is a good project. It has a good impact on people. And with tools that we have, we cannot, so more people will hear about this. Because if we work just with our groups, there's maybe 5-10 people, but if we post this in media, in social media, in newspapers, more people will be aware of what we're doing. Um, okay, shortly, which tools I'm talking about. The best is still direct, to talk with someone one to one, in life. I think this is still the most original and the most, how to say, the best way to communicate. Then there's email or phone, which is still one-on-one, but it can be done over distance. Maybe this is funny for someone, but later I will explain why I'm telling you this. Then we have emailing, which is uh, really important in the recent years, because you create a base of people that are interested in your club or your project or your product that you want to sell. And there's media, with which I mean television and newspapers and magazines and web pages. So that's it. Your own website is also another communication channel, which I think today more or less everyone agrees that you have to have it. Either if you're a company or freelancer or whatever, I think it's not a big, there are not big no big costs to create it. Um, and then we come to social media, which is free. It's direct, it's personal. People on the other side, if they see you in the photo, they think actually that they are talking to you directly. It's incredibly fast, so you can share something that's happening now and everybody from all around the world will see it. And it can have a good reach. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a good reach when you post something, but if you're working in long for longer time, and if you have a good content, I will say this a lot of times today, I think, good content, then you can have a good reach. And this is what we want. So not to reach only people that are working with us, but wider audience. Like I said, direct communication is still super good. I will mention here a case of owner of a company that I also work for, which organizes motorcycle tours. Today they have 150 motorcycles and guests from all around the world coming to Europe to ride motorcycles here. And everyone, especially older customers, want to talk directly to the owner because he started the company, and they know him. They might go with him on a tour. And but if he would want to spend time for each of customers, that doesn't work. Too many people. While on the other hand, with social media or emailing, people can think that they talk with him directly when this. Okay, we'll talk about this later. So yeah, it takes you a lot of time, and you have to be with someone to talk with him. So you have to meet, which is not always easy. Like now we cannot meet, but we can use Zoom. Zoom is another tool that I didn't mention. Um, Phone, email, same thing, talking one to one directly. Um, and still the person has good personal feeling on the other side. You can respond really quickly, and it's important to respond really quickly. If somebody sends you an email, it maybe he sent it to 5 different clubs or companies. So you Google something, you send questions like whatever, and usually if you respond really quick, there's bigger chance that you will get him to whatever you want to achieve. Sorry. Okay, emailing. I think this is good to keep in mind, that it's really important thing, because if you have a club that's working for 5-10 years, in that time you build mailing lists that can be few hundred people or even more. And these are potential customers because they are or they were interesting to your, I will say product, but it's not always a product. Actually, swimming lesson is a product, but it sounds a bit different. So with emailing, if you send an email to 100 people at the same time, they still get the person that, let's say, Tina is sending them, because she sends an email to all of Riba, Športno društvo Riba customers. And on the end, she said, okay, have a nice day, Tina. So you still have this personal feeling, but she spent half an hour or 1 hour or whatever to send to 100 people or 500. So keep this in mind. And they're already interested in what she's telling, because with Facebook and Instagram, maybe they're just following you, by the way. Uh, in Europe, you probably heard of GDPR. I don't will not go into details, but it's good to keep in mind that having someone contact, you have to be responsible. And if he signs out, so he doesn't want to receive your emails, you have to allow to him to sign off and delete his contact. And also you have to be careful with storing these informations of people. Personal data are really important. Bam, bam, bam. When you're sending these emails, it's good to avoid situations that will make them unsubscribe. So you're not sending things that might not be interesting, and that's why I think it's good to put interesting content, interesting reading on the first place, and then other information like sales or special offers or new calendars or whatever, maybe further down, because people like to read an interesting article about swimming, about I don't know, new swimming pool in your town or something like this. And think of email that you send like a magazine. So you like to read nice magazines with different news and nice pictures and so on. What else? It's good to, if you use some of emailing programs like MailerLite, I use MailerLite a lot. You can check later the response of your client. So you see what they're reading, what do they click, what do they don't click. And if you see that something is not interesting, you just put it out or put it completely on the bottom. Okay, shortly, that's it. If somebody wants to ask something, maybe write down, and in the end you can ask me. Okay, here's one case of email. Here on the right side, you can see that we included customers experience. So before sending this email, we said, oh, we emailed some of the clients and said, oh, can you type down a few words and send us one photo? And usually they do. They like to respond because people like to see themselves somewhere. Is it in the media or magazine or whatever? And this is an extra bonus if you can include your customers in your promotional material or something like that. It's good to have good photos. This is something everyone likes to see. Okay, a few words about media, with which I mean print and online newspapers, magazines, so on. Usually, people say, I have such an interesting project, but they don't want to write about me. And that's the first sentence I wrote here. And you have to understand that it's you who have to find a way to get to the magazine, because if you would be, I don't know who,
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump or Tom Cruise or someone, they want to talk about you or write about you. But if you are an unknown swimming club, you have to try to come to public media, and it takes time. It demands some extra work, but it's worth, because they do have large uh, public um, public reach. Yes, it's important to build relations with journalists. So if you know someone, you call him, you said, oh, now I have an interesting project, would you make an article about this? Or now we have a meeting and there will be one really interesting, I don't know, psychologist, would you do an interview with him? So usually, I mean, if you find the right person with that is interested in things you do, you can get some space on their website or magazine. And sorry, uh, the most important probably is that after some interesting event or interesting project, you make a press release and you send it to media, because you need this content for your webpage anyway. So that's like an article that explains what you're doing. You just add some photos, some more information, and you send it to all the journalists. Usually they have a, some info email which you search first, then somebody will reply, send to this journalist or this journalist. But press releases are a way to find um,
Public.
to come to this public media. If you're sending photos, they have to be yours, because they will, you give them permission to publish them. Um, and here's a case of my press release from a rally that I was sending. You include all the important partners, and then it's like an article. So you prepare an article, and nowadays when everybody don't have enough time, especially with web pages, your goal actually is that they just copy paste your article and they publish it. That won't happen every time, but sometimes it will. And this is how you um, get good reach. um, and these reports, these articles, press releases, you have to send to your partners or sponsors anyway. This is what they appreciate a lot, or even demand. Колко часа съм за investment?
Yeah,
Okay,
feedback,
okay.
feedback what?
Your website, in my idea, is that your website is the central point, or the base of your communication, um, because it's you that you edit the content, so you tell what you want. This is your, like, your face on the website. In the recent years, it's important, and it works good with mobile phones. It's important that all the most important information can be found in a few seconds. 3 seconds is like a number that is a time that we spend on the website when we're searching for something. So you Google something, you open a web page, you scroll down a little bit, and if it's too complicated, you leave it. So first things on the top and really clear, and um, it will work. It's important to have your own blog or news there, um, where you will publish also press releases that I was talking before, and also some whatever you think it's worth. Like, if your swimmers were good on some competition, or I don't know, you're starting new calendar with summer season, that's thing that you publish on your website and it stays there. And not imagine, remember that good content is really, really, really important, because also people, when they will read a good article that you published, they will see that you know something the about swimming, let's say, in this case. I also work for a guy that has a motorcycle shop. He's fixing motorcycles, and when I started to work with him, I said that it would be good to have a blog where he would write examples or instructions how to do something with motorcycles, how to fix some basic things. And his response was, "Why would I publish something that I make money with, actually? So I want people to come to me to that I make this, not that they will read and do it by themselves." But it turned out that this was the best thing that we did, because if you Google most of, motorcycle related problems, he will be on the first page, even first place in Google results. So, you know, most of people will not will not fix the bikes fix their bike by themselves anyway, because it's maybe too complicated, or they have the wrong tools, or they don't have knowledge. But they will see that he knows something about fixing bikes, and they will contact him, and they will come to him to solve his problem. And if you're honest, all I mean not all a lot of information is on the web already. So if I don't know about tires, about spark plugs, about whatever, you can find things. But it's better if people will find it on your webpage. Shortly, I could talk about this for a while, but we'll continue. When talking about social media, I will focus on Facebook and Instagram. Um, I use a little bit of LinkedIn, but I'm there, but nothing. I don't use it too much. I don't use TikTok at all yet, and hopefully, I I will be available to stay away from it, because I don't think I like it too much. But doesn't matter. Uh, on social media, you still keep the direct personal feeling of communication, but again, you are publishing one article, and then few hundred or few thousand people will see it on the other side. So compare this to talking to 1,000 people, or just publishing something, and people will see this on their platforms. um, so what's good about social media is really that it happens now, and it's important what's happening now. So if you have some event or something, you really have to publish, "Oh, today we have an event." You cannot do this with magazine that comes out once a week or once a month. um, and what you try to do is transfer visitors to your website, to get all the information there. um, some people say, "Oh, today I can only have a Facebook and Instagram. I don't need a web page." But I think the web page is still important. So Facebook is just one of the tools that you use it to get people to your website. Um, on social media, you can also use a little bit of slang language, which you use in a way that it suits your customers. Let's say if you have older or younger public on the other side, um, it's still you still have to follow some basic rules, but you know in the magazine you have to be really strict with, while on Facebook you can use smileys and so on. Okay. um, and don't forget that also your social media page represents you. So somebody will search on the website, he will find your web page and he will find your social media page like Facebook. And if sorry, if it's old, so if there are no fresh posts, maybe he will say, oh, this company is that. Okay, next one. So good photos, fresh content, it's important. Important.
Cautiously.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I already said about this, so why would I share my knowledge for free with people that are not even customers? I already explained on the case of this motorcycle shop. I think I said already. I will go a bit faster because we're running out of time. Um, what is good content? Um, it's up to date from here and now. It's simple and clear and easy to understand. So it has to be good for wider audience. Imagine that people will read it that I will not say stupid, but I already said. So it has to be clear for everyone. And then it's really important that it 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 calls for kind of response and that then we respond to. So if somebody is commenting on our post, we have to at least like his post, if not reply to him and say something like, that we're happy that he commented and so on. Because if you don't respond, he will not he will not interact anymore. And interaction boosts your reach on social media. More likes, more comments, more people will see. Content has to look good, so I will do a short. I will tell you a few really basic photo tips. Before that, just a few mistakes that we do. I already said that page is not good. You have to have a frequency of your post. It really depends. Some publish more times a day, somebody once a week, somebody, I don't know, 2 times a month. It depends on what you do, how you do. All content has to be yours. You can also share other links, but more or less people demand that you create your content, and it's also by the law, it's not allowed that you download a photo and post it like on your social media channel. So all photos on this presentation are mine, for example. It's also not good if there's a mess. Maybe sometimes it's problem that more people have access to make posts, and then you have 5 posts in one day and then 2 weeks nothing, for example. So if there's more people, maybe it's good to have one person that is editor, that's responsible for putting things online. So people are everybody from the team is sending to him, and then he will post it. Don't reply when you're angry. You better hide that comment and just leave it there. Buying likes don't always work good. You get likes from people that are not even interested in your project. Or I will say like this: it's okay. It's okay to boost posts, but you really need to work on this. It's not like Facebook is saying, "Yo, 10 euros and you will get 1 million of views," but who will see this? That's another story. You know, like this company with motorcycle tours, we have something like, I don't even know, but let's say 5,000 likes on Facebook, while the world's biggest operator has like 40,000 or 50,000. But we get better response from customers because they were boosting a lot their page, and they reach people that are not interested in motorcycle tours. So building your public, your viewers, your followers. It takes time, but it makes sense. um okay, don't don't pretend to be something else on social media. I will not go into this too much. Okay, just these things shortly, and then we're done. So on normal training day, you just post a funny photo, you write something down, you share an Instagram story if you have it. If you feel people will like it, you tag them so they see themselves. This is also how you boost your reach. Um, then where something important happens, like you're putting on new season calendar, you post it on your website and you try to get people to go to your website. So you say on the web, on Facebook, oh, on our website we presented a new calendar, check it out, or something like this. You send an email to everyone. You create maybe a Facebook event where people can attend. They say they will attend at first swimming after half a year of COVID. um, and then if there's something really important like competition or international meeting or something like that, you also try to find a local, at least local, if not international, magazine or website that will support you, that will write something about you. Sometimes even small magazines, local magazines, have good impact on what happens. And then photo, video gallery, and press release. I also said already this before. It's important to do press release before and after the event. And then we come to clipping, which is the result you want to achieve with all your actually, this is the side effect of all of your work on the in this media promotion thing. So that's very simple thing. It's just collection of all of your articles that are published somewhere. So every time you publish something, you also put it in a chart. You post a link. You write something short, some comment, and uh, your sponsors or your partners will love this, because sometimes you're looking for partners to support your project or sponsors, and they said, oh, we work for 5 years, we are really good, blah blah blah, but they will never search the web or articles or magazines, old magazines, and find information about you. It's you who have to prepare this, and you have to do it now. Don't think you will do it on the end of the year,
Mm.
because you will forget half of the things or even more. I think Tina will be happy if you will make clipping like this on the end of the project, because when if everyone sends like five five of these articles that were published somewhere, and she puts together, the project really looks, oh look, something was happening around this. Keep this in mind. Okay, photo tricks, and then we're done. When you're putting an object on the photo, you use the rule of thirds. So you don't center things, but you try to put it on one third of the photo, horizontally and vertically. This is a stupid photo, but sometimes it's also too good to put it in the center or on the edge. But thirds are usually good, and you're on the safe side. And the horizontal has to be really horizontal. So if you're making a photo of the sea and the sea is like this, that's really ugly. Or also, if the trees are like this, that's not good. um, it's You have to pay attention what's happening with the light when you're making photos. So if you're making a photo against the light, things will be dark, so you have to set the camera maybe. Or then on the end you can just use, like on this photo, you don't need to see people, these shapes are good enough. So you use the light, the power of light for your photo. You try to find the right perspective. You hide behind something, you put the camera up, further up, or you climb on a rock to make a group photo from the top or something like this. We could talk about this a lot. If you're interested, I can send you articles that are long, and you can spend a lot of time with photography, with learning about photography. And I'm not even a professional photographer, so I'll not talk a lot about this. You try to help to make group photo interesting, so you tell a joke or something. Here they're splashing water, and it's more interesting if they would be just sitting like they're standing in the water. You remove things, so you focus on what you want to present, but you put the camera so you don't so you hide cars, trees, things you don't want in the camera, on the photo. And sometimes the quality of the photo is not so important as what you caught. So here, this is a funny photo from the end of one race. He You can see what the guy did. He splashed in her eyes the champagne. So sometimes, a good photo will happen just because you were there in the right time. And smartphones and also computers allow us to edit photos. So every newer mobile device has some program where you can set the light, you improve shades, you edit contrast and so on. And just with simple clicks, the photo will look much better. This is the same photo. You see, I lifted exposure, I edited the highlights a little bit, and then on the end it looks much better. Okay. We came to an end, and this is the guy from Croatia, from one island, and he has a restaurant. He started about 20 years ago, and he has such a nice restaurant with such a good food that he came without doing anything. He came to the top of quai the not Booking, but TripAdvisor web platform. So once he asked me, can you help me to get down of TripAdvisor, because too many people are contacting me. And I just wanted to say that if you have a product that's good enough, and maybe you don't need to worry about everything I was telling you now in the last half hour, but more or less we all have to work to promote whatever we do. Finito. Any questions? Chat.
No.
Okay, no questions.
No questions in the chat.
No questions. Okay, thank you very much.
Questions?
You can ask me later, or send me an email or whatever if you want.
Thank you, Mateusz.
Bye bye.
Nice.
Acho desculpa o jogo.
Stop sharing.